Hello, sweet internet friends. I'm happy you've arrived here where we slow down, we take a minute to breathe, and we follow the stream. Welcome to Stream of Conscious West. So, I have this, life is like a dichotomy, right? Like, I want to go really fast and I want to go really slow. I want to, like, really spend a lot of my time alone, and I want to spend a lot of my time with other people. And what is like on that line is the time that we spend watching other people while we're alone on our phones, where we kind of get both. And it's really attractive and it's really addictive and it's made to be that way. And it's so interesting because, like, I want to put myself there for other people. And by recognizing how much time I spend here, I can recognize how putting the stuff I make there is a type of seeking. I want you because I want more community. And in lieu of having a vibrant community right outside my window, right down the block, right down the street, I look for it in the places that are accessible. And this has become the most accessible place. I think if we're looking at this line, we can say we all acknowledged the power of living here in aloneness and not aloneness, the power of the comment section, of seeing something and then realizing you're not alone in being the only one who's watching that. And you don't have to send it to your friend. And I don't know if my friends are going to like the same stuff I like, or I don't know if they're going to have time to watch this thing I sent them today and be able to get back to me, or when we might be able to converse about it. But the comment section gives me some, we're all in the same boat. Even if comments are from 10 months ago, 10 minutes ago, I'm a part of it now. I can respond, I can contribute to a place that can feel real. Because it is. It is real. I'm eager in my life to pull people in so that, right, is this a selfish endeavor? Do I want to build a community around me because I want to take from them? Because in creating this space within this video, that this video will have a comment section, I feel like I'm in a position of giving with a deeper desire that has some desire to take. And I think when we look at like the landscape of capitalism in our lives that really affects us and has an impact, it's a culture of taking. It's a culture of accumulating. It's a culture of we take from the places where it's most beneficial to us. Stuff is made in China because they have low wages for their human beings doing work. So everything I'm wearing is made in a place where the people running the companies in the capitalistic sense of owning the means of production are going to go find the cheapest producing workforce, because that means that there's more to take. I don't know, like, and it's interesting because in putting things out there, there's this idea that if we want to be creative people, artists, and if we want to try to make money on the back of our art or our effort, right? Art is one field, one piece of the spectrum of effort, of human effort, artistic effort. Effort has certain levels of intention and attention, where you can imagine the flow state that a factory worker who works on an assembly line, who's doing one individual task, there's attention there, but there's not a whole heaping amount of intention, because so much of our intention gets bought out by, well, I got this job because it exists, within driving distance from my house. So I have all these options, and then this option falls into the category of, a job that I'm qualified for, or that I'm educated enough for, or that I can become trained in. And when we look at artistic expression and effort, that's something where I've seen throughout my life a lot of people who are passionate artists go to get educated and they find themselves in marketing, right? It's like it's like the pathway of being like, if I go into marketing, I can see this being an education that can merge my intention and attention of looking at art and put that towards, right? If we imagine jobs as being like this assembly line in a factory metaphor, right? If you look at a marketing person who's hired by a company that sells crackers, and you look at what's underneath the marketing executive's title and education, that they have acquired this knowledge of what, right? It's of human attention. So might we all experience a world where almost everywhere we go, some human being that's been trained in the act of selling and attracting human attention does so on behalf of a company that's hired them to work on the assembly line of creating the pieces of media that capture attention, that the marketing executive or, hired hand is doing this stuff that's trying to churn out people finding it and seeing it. And then we imagine that this is now geared towards hacking and maneuvering through the internet algorithms that feed us and that are created with the sole intention of capturing our attention. And now our attention can be bought. And then the professionals at their core may not actually be passionate about the cracker company that they're marketing for and they're creating pieces of media for. And the reason that that person is making a cracker ad is because their younger self acknowledged that they love to create art. And perhaps the capitalism bug speaking through the voice box of their parents or their guidance counselor or college advisor or friends or whatever convinced them as a teenager that this is a way to make sure you don't become a starving artist who struggles to make ends meet. So we can compare that to the factory worker who is looking for a job to make a living, and that the job that they do might not be rooted in a deep understanding of themselves as an artist or a creator. And both jobs are worthwhile, right? Are they? Because am I potentially doing more I don't want to say damage, but am I serving my community more as someone who lines up the salamis, right, for the salami company? And a lot of people eat the salami, regardless of if they've seen the salami advert, that there likely might not be one? Or is that more valuable than the marketing executive who's coming up with the idea, and then that idea becomes a whole huge event of hiring videographers and actors and lighting people and props people and costume departments to create a fun cracker ad that shows a diverse family spreading all sorts of spreads and different shots and what's gonna appeal to the widest audience so that we have that cracker in mind when we're lining up at the shop in front of the cracker aisle, and then we say that one, and we don't even ever, obviously most of the time, link our behavior to the fact that we've been advertised to, even though we wouldn't be being advertised to by the cracker company if the fact that we saw cracker company ads didn't actually improve their sales. So though we may not be aware of it, we are affected. And so what's the impact of being subconsciously affected by the art created by hired hands for the purpose of a profit-making motive from a company that's trying to increase their profits, not so that the person who's moving the crackers on the assembly line gets more money. It's so that the investors, shareholders, and owners can make more money. So in some ways, the assembly line workers' job is more moral. And we might say, well, the idea of an assembly line worker versus a marketing executive, we might think that we value the marketing executive's job more, and that's more something that parents of the marketing executive would be proud of. Where if those same parents had a child that was working on the assembly line of the cracker company, they might not be proud of them. They might see that job as a failing, that maybe we see those jobs as things that we hope not to get stuck doing. But I think there's something to be said about a job where your efforts are hired and you clock out and your life is yours. Where a marketing executive might, for example, go home and be mulling over the creative decisions, and should we include the siblings tossing crackers into each other's mouths, or is seeing that on an advertisement not gonna resonate with the public? And we might be having these creative decisions become a deeper and filling up more of our lives. And then we might say, well, that might be so, but that's why the marketing executive gets paid more. Because they're fielding that, and perhaps they're not an hourly employee, so their time is more of their life is bought by the cracker company than the life of the assembly line workers' life is bought. It's interesting. And I think there's a culture around achievement and this idea of white and blue collar work, where we might think to ourselves that, okay, if the marketing executive never went to marketing school and instead honed their craft and became a painter or made their own videos or whatever, that might be something more akin to blue collar work, which we view as bad. Why? Right? I have my suburban, predominantly white Iowan childhood from a family where you could call us middle class, but I was surrounded by upper class people. A lot of my friends' parents were executives, doctors, successful creatives. And so I felt poor compared to them. And I saw them, my rich friends, go to the Ivy League, to Stanford, to the big schools all over to the coasts and all over the country. And I didn't ever feel like I had that expanse of a life envisioned to me. I went to the college that my father went to, right? So I see just how impactful it is to have the community that's around you, whatever their mentalities and perspectives on what a worthy life is, or how parents want to provide a certain level of support to see their children become successful, likely in this financial way, in this way where we say, I'd rather you create ads than move crackers, ensure proper packaging, or whatever it may be. And there's the everything in between. And there's the stuff that's like, okay, but like, let's move over to like the shit that actually matters to what it means to live. We all live in a home or apartment. We probably all have a toilet. So we should probably understand plumbing. We all feed ourselves, so we should probably know how to cook. We should probably understand somewhat of like what happens if the fuse blows, because electricity is integral to the way our lives are set up. And so electrician, plumber, architecture or construction work, the way things are built, car mechanics, we're all driving cars. So how are we, if we take the view of like the upper class person who says, well, I make X whatever $100,000 plus as a marketing executive, and I create successful ads and I bring profits to my cracker company. But that person doesn't know how to fix a leak, hasn't had to learn, not that we might not, but I'm saying like as a general vibe, we might, in this American capitalist culture, success doesn't mean learning how to care for every aspect of your home and your life and your bodily care. And do I know how to massage my own feet or my partner's feet, and do right, like all this stuff. We hope to just earn enough money so I can hire a plumber, I can hire an electrician, I can hire a masseuse, I can go to the best doctor to make sure that I'm healthy, I can afford to pay for the best food so that I don't have to eat ramen like those cheap, like those poor college kids, or whatever idea we have about what success is. And it's actually more about the illusion that if you have enough money, you can then pay for a good life. Instead of, if you understand and become knowledgeable about the things that create your life, that's what a good life is. A good life is knowing how to respond to the unexpected things that happen, or knowing who to ask. If the only person I know to ask about my car won't start is to call up the mechanic shop and be like, hey, can somebody come out here? Or I need a tow to come to your shop to fix my car. Instead of my father or my neighbor or my friend's dad or my partner or me, it's like troubleshooting life is viewed as a blue collar thing. Blue is dope. Blue collar means I have tangible skills that matter, that I go help people accomplish the things that need to be done. So if we look at art, I'm accomplishing, I'm creating something physical from this pile of supplies and my own ideas and muscle memory of all the years that I've been creating art, and then now I can make this canvas look like something attractive and that evokes real, or that captures something real that can have an impact on other people's lives. Most of us probably have art somewhere on our walls or somewhere created. Like my grandmother made this pillowcase, quilted this whole quilt. Like she is an artist, and her art fills up the lives of the people whom she gifts that art to. In the same way that because I need a paycheck, my attention, making sure the salami is all organized so that it can be properly packaged, the people that eat that salami have been positively affected by my care and attention. Where when we look at the marketing executive, there's not totally a real impact on people's lives tangibly. It's just that the skills of marketing are highly valued, therefore highly compensated. Who decides what's highly valued? The company owners and shareholders want more profit. So they'll be willing to pay $1 million for the Super Bowl commercial. They'll be willing to shell out a hearty, hefty salary to the marketing person because they want that money. This small group, the 1% that own the buildings, and right? And so it's like, it literally is like we break it down, and like the people who have their hands in the dirt, metaphorically, their hands around the tangible objects, actually make our society rich and complete and good and comfortable. And those things aren't valuable because the public having a good, comfortable life isn't a driver of profit. So I feel bad for all of those artists out there who sold off their intentions to the highest bidder and carved out their artistic visions into this sellable niche that's highly valued under capitalism, instead of their own desire to make things that make life good and feel something great, and something that you create with your imagination and with your intention, just for the act of doing it. And I, it's hard for artists out here to now, in this attention back to here, being alone and being in community, and the internet allows both of those things to exist, where now artists are forced to look at the creative realm as one where we have to start looking at ourselves as as a small business. And painters are out here recording their process for TikTok, and, authors are out here trying to create teasers, and I don't know, it's like, what are we all are now having to look at our own art from the eye of the marketing executive, because we're trying to create value for ourselves amidst this capitalist world we inhabit. And that's not the inherent truth of what humanity is and what the earth is and what it actually means to be successful. So maybe a lot of us might actually realize that it's very easy to start to spend what you have. That there's those of us out here who are living life on, $20,000 a year. And then there's those people that are living life on $200,000 a year. And yet both of those people could be living paycheck to paycheck. Because if you have it, you spend it. If you can afford it, we buy it. I can move into a nicer house. I can afford a greater mortgage. I want to have a bigger house because I'm making good money. I can afford it. And now I can have a nicer car. And now I can pay for private school. And now I can have all the nicest gizmos and gadgets. And now I can have the extra stuff. And now I can buy all my kids their own iPads. And now we can have all the subscription services. And those of us living in poverty can say, like, I'm budgeting, I'm trying to find the best ways. I can afford this, 2-bedroom apartment. I can live with, taking the bus, or I can live with my beater that I bought for $2,000 or whatever it is, where it's just like the person who sells their efforts for a much higher price also has more to pay. And the person who makes $200,000 wants to view themselves as being closer to the 1% than the person living in poverty. And often what that means is to present a wealthy image to the people that are around you. To wear fancy, expensive, name brand Gucci suits or whatever the fuck. To park your BMW in your private executive parking space at the high-rise office downtown, and to drive home to your expansive 8-bedroom, 7-bath McMansion, and to, it's just like, damn, like, what is that for? It's like that thing where it's like, it's the culture of, if you can afford to pay for it, that means you're better than other people. And it's like a sign of, right? I imagine it going back to like the fucking Renaissance, old European high society type shit, where it's like, it's like a flex to not know how to dress yourself because you've had a maid and a house servant your whole life. And it's like, that's actually like being floated on a bed of fucking wealth and riches isn't actually cool. It actually means that you're like a little baby. If you've never had to cook your own breakfast, you're like a little baby. If you've never had to lean and address your own plumbing issues, you're like a child. So I want us to recognize that the stuff we're aiming for is the weird posturing that wealth creates, that we want to create this separation between blue collar and white collar, where blue collar is actually what life is made of. Because even if you're white collar, you hire blue collar people. They work for you. You pay someone else to do real shit that matters. And when you do real shit that matters, that's what makes life feel good. So, god damn, that's like a real epiphany, bro. Holy shit. That's a real epiphany, dude. Let's take like 3 deep breaths, because this has been a wild ride. Ready? Shake it out. Because feeling the earth under your feet and the fucking wiggle in your skin, and it's just like, it feels good. It feels good to have some wiggle. People that go Botox, people that get filler, they just lose the feeling of life. There are people out there who've probably never stepped their bare ass feet into the earth. Because that's dirty, right? Or that's what poor people do. And that's sad. And I feel bad for wealthy people that live in their shiny, lifeless boat with gold-plated edges and, ostrich feathered pillows adorned by the most expensive upholsterer in all the land. And all of that fancy shit was made by someone else who got their hands dirty and then wiped off the dirt and shined it up so that you could walk your pansy ass on and feel special. So I don't want to I'm also not glorifying poverty, because that's fucked up and shit is really fucked and life is really hard and life is only going to get more and more expensive as the years go on. But it's about how we think about things. It's about the way we spend our time is what our life is made of. So one could say well, that's all well and good, but I'd much rather be the marketing executive selling the cracker ads and making those creative decisions for a hefty salary than be the person over here. And I'm like, totally, dude. Probably me too. But this is just a metaphor to get us to conceptualize the difference of how having your hands on something real actually provides more value to people versus having your hands on ideas for the sole purpose of a corporation or company's bottom line, and you're just You know what I mean? It's not this black and white. And not every marketing person is a sellout who wishes they were a starving artist. And not every factory worker is happy about spending their attention on being a tangible part of a process of creating a good that helps people and that feeds them or serves some type of purpose. But it's about how we frame these ideas in our own conceptualization of what we want for ourselves. Because we may have never actually asked this question about these jobs and about the skills that we actually have developed throughout our lives. I'm not skilled in plumbing, mechanic, electrician. Like I'm not trying to shame anyone for not doing that stuff, but I can recognize that, like planting a garden, being competent in the kitchen, knowing how to troubleshoot these problems where it's like I turn a light on every single fucking day. I shit into a porcelain tube every single fucking day. And so now I feel that those things warrant my attention because it could make my life better, not because it will save me money on the plumbing bill, but because it can be a better feeling to take care of myself and my family rather than always having to call up the experts and the professionals. And just because I want to learn about cars doesn't mean that means I want to go be a mechanic. You know? Just like I want to learn about video and about the microphones and about how to make my videos the best they can be. But that doesn't mean I want to be a videographer or a camera guy or a YouTuber as the thing that I'm trying to become, so that becomes where all my effort goes, because that's what feeds me and my family. Like I'm seeing my life as having just all these different nodes that serve these different desires and needs that I have. And that's important. And thank you for listening. This has been a really great moment for me to spend by myself, and for it also then to become available here. And then these ideas then can penetrate in through all of us who've found them here. And now we can walk into our communities with these experiences that help us to grow and help us to consciously, intentionally shape our own world. Humans are world shapers. We look at the world around us and we say, how can I transform what I see so that it can serve what we need, what I need, what you need, what they need? That's part of the human gift. But it also sucks that a corporation can say, yeah, we'd rather have all this wood to sell than keep this 1,000 acres of the rainforest. Yeah, we'd rather level this whole forest so that our cattle can graze because we want to sell the beef, right? We'd rather, not open up this national park to the public to enjoy the natural life on this plot of earth. We'd rather close it down, sell it to an oil company, devastate it, level it, dynamite it, build dirt roads heavy and sturdy enough to handle the 16-ton work truck that can come in, and then the excavator that can build and drill down so that we can then sell the oil. It's like, fuck, it's like so frustrating. But then it's also like, all right, well, I use gasoline in my car, you know, like all this stuff where it's like, you know, where it's so big that it doesn't feel like we have an impact, where we can have an experience of life where we don't feel like we are able to transform the world around us. But it starts with our relationships, and it starts with our own selves, recognizing the power that we have and what our intention can do. We got to start small because life is small. Because the earth is fucking unfathomably huge. And we are more powerful than we believe. And with that, I bid you adieu. Thank you. Like and subscribe or whatever. Comment. Please. That'd be so sick. I need a million thousand everythings from everyone because I'm wanting to woohoo. And then it's just like, I'm like, this experience of creating this monologue in my head was really powerful to me. And if that's all it ends up being, I'm happy. Check your next video. Boy.
This is a new dream. We don't know where we're going, but this is a new dream. This is a new dream. Yo, this is a new dream, new dream. Oh my God, look at all of these colors in the sky. Now that I'm focusing on something else than where I reside, where I can find how I can put together a portfolio that I can show to someone else and they'd say, yeah, bro, that's cool, but I know that my shit is cooler than you could think of. I will surprise every single moment. This is mine. And I look in your eyes and cry, and then you see me and I see you watching me, baby boo. You know what we about to do, but you don't know, and I don't know, but we about to find out. Whoa, sloppy with this, but you don't even feel me. This ain't cocky. This is just a witness to my journey, and you and I can find that even if I'm on a highway, you can be with me and I can be with myself every moment if I try. But look, we all need time to ourselves and time out of ourselves, time just getting down deep into our emotional wells. Yeah, I know that I'm just bringing up pails. Now you know that emotion that will prevail. This is the shit. I'm not trying to run from that no longer. I'm just learning that I am in charge of the way I speak. I'm in charge of the way I see myself at the table and complete all the tasks I put in front of me. So I'm coming for you, you'll see. Yeah, you're gonna see me on stage. This is the new dream. You're gonna see me on stage. Yeah, this is the new dream. This is the new me. This is the new you. We gonna do what we meant to do. And I know that always it's ever changing, but we're not afraid to go somewhere that we didn't have on our notebook just a week ago. So now we know life is open doors, but of course take some effort and some taking a risk and stepping out into something uncomfortable, because you don't really know what it's about to look like. That's what freestyle is. Yeah, I got it all in my pocket and you don't have to second guess it. I got it. I'm never about to put it down. I'm just gonna west it. Woo! Yeah, that's all I need. Every time I am complete. And I always say this, but I know to hear it, cause I know that shit is me. COMPLETE. And I don't need it, but I need a reminder. So come on, let's remind ourselves, please, that we all got what we need, but we don't always remember it. And it's hard to see in the moments when our stressors feel bigger than reality. So, yo, I know we don't have to all know where we're supposed to go. 'Cause supposed to don't exist, but we trying to float to the shit that makes us feel like, ooh, we clicked in and this is now. Look at me, look at you. Now look back at your phone. dude, we are just here. I am a human and so are you, so we can connect. It doesn't matter where you are, come with me and we can go far, but not just trying to just say, look how many miles I logged. I'm trying to say, ooh, look how many miles I logged in my experience of vibrancy and intimate connection with the shit around me. So let's go on the highway, and let's go on the dirt road, and let's go in the backseat, and let's go in the backyard, and let's sit on a toad. So what? I don't have to know, and neither do you, because if you do, you lying, and you just trying to fit your life into the grid work of our future plans like it's a fucking calendar. Bitch, a calendar don't exist, even if we keep track of it. Woo. So come on home, let's go where we can see each other clearly, and I'm here to help you along the way. I hope you'll help me too. Woo, yeah, woo, yeah. Oh my God.